I never thought I'd be the kind of man to post my personal life online, but I need to get this off my chest. Maybe someone out there has been through the same thing. Maybe someone out there has an answer I haven't found yet. Either way, here it is, the truth about how my marriage fell apart, piece by piece, and how I discovered the one thing that shattered my world. My wife, Sarah, and I met in college. From the moment I saw her, I was hooked. She had this way of making me feel like I was the most important person in the world. Every laugh, every touch, it all felt perfect. We dated for 5 years before I proposed, and when she said yes, I thought I had won life's ultimate prize. The first few years of marriage were amazing. We traveled, shared late-night talks, and planned our future together. But then, slowly, things started changing. It wasn't overnight, and it wasn't obvious at first. It was in the little things, the way she'd turn her phone screen away when I walked in, the way she started staying late at work more often, the way she stopped asking me how my day was. I told myself I was imagining things. Every couple goes through rough patches. I made excuses for her, convinced myself she was just stressed, that work was demanding. But the gut feeling never left me. One night, I decided to do something I had never done before. I checked her phone. I know. Invasions of privacy and all that. But something in me snapped. I had to know if my fears were real or just paranoia. And when I opened her messages, I found something I never expected. It wasn't another man. It was a group chat, one she had with her closest friends. My name popped up more times than I could count. And every single mention of me was dripping with resentment, frustration, and worst of all, contempt. The woman I loved, the woman I had built a life with, spoke about me like I was a burden, like she was stuck in some miserable life sentence she never wanted. I can't stand the way he talks sometimes. He's so predictable, so boring. I feel like I settled, like I could have done better. That last one nearly broke me. I sat there, staring at the screen, my heart pounding. My mind raced back to every moment we'd shared, every time she told me she loved me, every promise we made. Had it all been a lie? Had I been living in some illusion while she secretly regretted choosing me? I put her phone back and went to bed, lying awake, staring at the ceiling, trying to process everything. I couldn't confront her yet. I needed time to think. The next few days were agony. I watched her smile at me, touch my hand, kiss me goodbye, all while knowing what she really thought of me when I wasn't around. I considered confronting her, but then I asked myself, what would that accomplish? She wasn't cheating, she wasn't being openly cruel, she just didn't love me the way I loved her. And maybe she never did. That was the hardest part. I started noticing things I had ignored before. The way she avoided serious conversations, the way she never really apologized when we argued, the way she didn't laugh at my jokes anymore. Had she been feeling this way for years? Did she ever truly want this life? Or did she just pick the safe option and resent me for it? I was angry, not at her, but at myself. I had been so blind, so desperate to hold on to the illusion of happiness that I ignored the reality staring me in the face. A few weeks later, I sat her down. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse. I just asked, "Are you happy?" She looked at me, startled. "What do you mean?" "Are you happy with me? With us? With this marriage?" There was a pause, a long one, and then she sighed. "I don't know." And that was all I needed to hear. We talked, really talked. For the first time in years, we were honest with each other. She admitted that she had doubts even before we got married, but pushed them aside because she thought love was supposed to feel like that it was normal to have these thoughts. But over time, those doubts grew into resentment, and she didn't know how to stop it. I asked her if she wanted to fix it, if she wanted to try. She hesitated. And in that moment, I knew. Love isn't supposed to feel like an obligation. It's not supposed to be something you force yourself into. I loved her, but I deserved someone who loved me the same way in return. And she deserved the same. We separated a month later. It was painful. Some days I still wake up expecting to see her next to me. But in the end, I think we both knew it was the right choice. So here I am, telling my story to strangers on the internet. Not because I want sympathy, but because maybe someone else out there is living in the same illusion I was. Maybe you're ignoring the signs, convincing yourself that love is supposed to feel like work, like sacrifice, like endurance. But the truth is, love should feel like home. And if it doesn't, maybe it's time to walk away.